Okay. So we will identify the other features and we are going to conclude the session today. Look at the points here. First, I want to let's start with the ID. Okay, we'll start with ID. So here I go. I just want to yeah. Next. Coming to the document part, guys. I want to open the document where we can find yesterday's discussion on Java 17. Right. Now we are going to conclude this batch today. And what we are going to see today is first I want to talk about 2-3 points, 2-3 features I'll explain and then I will close. In that the first one feature we want to discuss is how to write enhanced switch statement. Let me write a code, you'll understand that. We want to look into how we can able to write enhanced switch statement. Then we'll see how we can able to write pattern matching in switch. And before we start with the pattern matching, first I will talk about record class. Actually, record class is a Java 16 feature, but it's fully available from Java 17 only. That's why I'm including in Java 17 feature. Okay, so we are going to understand about record class first. But before that, I want to talk about enhanced switch statement. Okay, our requirement is we want to understand about how to write enhanced switch statement. Look at this, how I'm going to write it. Let's say I'm creating one small Java project. It is enhancer switch. It is enhancer switch. Now here inside this, I want to create one new simple package. And this is the package. Let's say pack one. Enough. Nothing to write. Now I'm writing one simple class. Okay, so far just I have created one simple class here. The class name is main. Class name is main, which contains main method. Sure. Now try to understand in this main or in other class also I can write. Okay, I'll complete in a single. In this main class, I just want to create one method. And that method should return number of days in a month. That method should return the number of days in a month, and in a given year. Means what are the inputs I want to provide? A month and a year. And I'm expecting result as what? Days, number of days. Number of days is nothing but I'm expecting what type of data? The type of the data is an integer. So some months contains 30 days, some months can have 31 days. Right, okay. If it is a leap year, then February will have 29 days. Okay. Let's see how I'm writing the code. Public return type is int. Take a method called getDays. Parameter month, year. Okay. There is a method I'm creating called what? getDays. And it has two parameters. First parameter type is month. Actually, month is a class. from the package called java.time. And then there is a parameter called year. I'm taking it just like normal integer value. Normal integer value, month and year. Now look at this. Return switch of month. Look at the point here. Return switch of month. These errors and all will be gone automatically when I keep the code. But first, let me show you java.time.month. Java.time.month. Month is an enum. And this enum is from which package? Java.type. Month is an enum type. Enum is an enumeration. And it has the constants January, February, March, blah, 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 up to December. This is called enum of constants. Because we know, okay, a month can be in between January to December. These are fixed set of constants, right? So in a Java program, if you want to create a type or a data type, better what, with a fixed set of constants. So then I should think about creating an enum in Java. Example, suppose I'm creating a project. I know, suppose if I take, for example, if I take a variable like this, string gender, because gender is a string, then tell me in this variable, I can store what? In this variable, its type is string. What I can store in this variable? I can store a value, a string value. It could be male or female or others. Male. Is it correct or not? Yes, it's correct. I want to write gender is equal to female. Is it correct or not? Yes. Gender is equal to others. Is it correct or not? Yes. Now I am writing gender is equal to ABCD. Is it correct or not? Yes. Yes. Gender is equal to XYZ. Is it correct or not? Yes. All are correct. Because my variable, I have created one variable, right? Gender. And I have declared this variable as what type? String type. So if I declare a variable, of type string, what can I store? I can able to store any string value. But in my application, okay, this variable should store only one of the three values, right? What are the three values? Male, female, or others. But I do not want to allow any other value except those three. Yes. Suppose if you want to create a variable and that variable should store only one of the predefined set of values, then you have to first create one enum in Java. Create one enum type. Enumeration type you have to create first. Enum is a shortcut for enumeration. Create one enum type and define all the allowed set of constants there. After creating that, then you create a variable of type enum. You got my point? First, what you do, then what you do. First, you do what? You create one enum type. You create one enum type. And in that, you define all the allowed set of constants. Tell me, what are the allowed set of constants for gender? Male, female, others. You create one enum first. You create an enum. And inside that enum, what you guys need to do? In that enum, you guys have to define the constants, allowed constants. Then you create a variable of type enum. Means enum is nothing but what? First you are creating one data type, okay, with the allowed set of constants. After that, you can create a variable of the data type. That variable can store only one of the allowed set of constants. Now, how can I do that? Understand here. I would like to explain here. I would like to write here. Look at this. So that you guys can able to understand this, I can go ahead with my topic. See guys, I am creating one enum gender. But remember, in enum, the constants, enum will allow only constants. Means they are implicitly public, static, final. They are implicitly what? Public, static, final. They are implicitly public, static, final. Yes? Good. Implicitly public, static, final. You know, in Java, if any variable is public, static, final, that variable name is represented in capital letters. So male, comma, female, comma, others. This is a way how you guys can be able to write. Lastly, semicolon is optional. If you want, you can write. So tell me right now, what is the thing I have created? One enum type I have created in Java. What's the name of the enum? Gender. Now I can do one thing. Now I can create a variable of type gender. Gender. Right? What's the difference between string gender, then gender? If I create a string gender, what will happen? What's the difference between this one and this one? This one can store any value, any string, any value. But this one can only store one of the three constants. What are the one of the three constants available? Male, female, or others. Of course, how to assign the value called a male to this gender? This is a way of writing it. Gender equal to constant, na, public, static, final, right? Static variable can be called with a class name. So of course, here my name is enum name. What's the name of the enumeration type? Gender dot male. Did you guys understood this? Gender equals what can I write? Gender dot male. Otherwise, gender dot female. Otherwise, gender dot others. Can I write gender is equal to ABCD now? Will it allow me? Now, what are the only allowed set of constants? Male, female, others. Now, this is the first thing you guys need to know. When we will create enum. When should I create one enumeration type? When should I create one enumeration type? When should I create a enumeration type in our programs? Suppose you want to create a variable. You want to create a variable, and that variable should hold only one of the fixed set of constants. Other than that, it should not hold any other value. So if this is your requirement, first you start creating what? Enum, one enumeration type. After once your enum is created, then you create a variable of type enum. Now that variable can only store one of the available constants of that enum. That's where enum. See, what is the difference between Of course, here month is a predefined enum, but I'm explaining it. For example, if I'm creating string, variable name is month. Now, what can I store in month? It's a string variable, right? Month is a variable. Its data type is what? String. Now tell me, what can I store in the month variable, guys? I can store any string. I can store January. I can store December. I can store Ashok IT also. Am I right or not? I can store Ashok IT also. Any string. I can store Java also. Am I going to get any compile time error if I store Ashok IT? If I store Java? No. If I store January? No. But Ashok IT is not a month. Java is not a month. Then you tell me, if you create a variable like this in a project, then this variable can hold any type of string. If it is a string, it is allowed. Right? But our requirement is what? Our requirement is what? Requirement is we want to create a variable, let's say month variable, but it should hold only one of the available constants. What are the one of the available constants? January to December. That's it. Other things not allowed. So if you want any such type of variable, first what should I do? I should create one own data type by using enum keyword. By using enum keyword. I should create my own data type by using enum keyword first. After creation of data type is completed, then you create a variable of that data type. So what is my data type here? Enum month. And I will add all the constants. What are the constants? Okay, January up to December. Okay, I'm not writing everything. January to December. Now, I will create variable month. So what is the difference between string month variable and month variable? String month variable can store any arbitrary value. Any arbitrary value means any value. Arbitrary means anything. Any arbitrary value. But this month variable can store only available set of constants. What are the available set of constants? From January to December. And suppose if you want any variable and that should hold only one of the available set of constants, then first we should create one enum type. And for that, we have a keyword called what? Enum stands for enumeration. Okay, these are all the things that you should know. Learn enum. Learn enum. I want to come back. Nice. Look at this. I'm talking about enhanced switch. Look at this. Case January. Let's first find out which months are having 30 days. 30 days in a month. Tell me, January 31 days, March 31 days, but April 30, May 31, but June 30, July 31, this month 31 days, August 30, August 30, next one.
August 31.
August 31, na? You're right. September. September 30 days. Next. November. October 31st is there, right? Next. November. November. Okay. I want only 30. That tell me which months are having 30 days? April, June, September, November. They have 30. Next. Case. Understand? Understand clearly. Case. February. Tell me, February contains 29 days or 28 days, but depends on year. If it is a leap year, it has 29 days. Otherwise, 28 days.
28 days.
Multiple things are there you guys need to understand today. Yield. Yield is a keyword in Java. February code I've written like this. I just written like a curly. Otherwise, curly brace is not required. Single line is also. If there is only one line, then curly brace is optional. Okay. But to tell you that curly braces, I can able to write. Remember, it is not colon. It is arrow. And you don't have any break. It's a case only. Switch case, you know already? Yes. It's a case only. But there is no colon. There is no break. This colon, break, both are replaced with arrow. Arrow. This is called enhanced switch syntax. Default I can write. Guys, understand my point? Look at this now. There is a direct method available called eSleep. It is a method from a static method from year. Year is from java.time package. Java.time. Java.time is a package. In that we'll be having a class called year. Year is a class. In that class, we have a static method called eSleep. And this is the year I am providing. So I'm passing this as parameter. If it is true, you know, ternary operator. Ternary operator, question mark and colon. This combination is called what operator? Ternary operator. You know already how to use it. If this condition is true, okay, then returns the first value, value 1. If the condition is false, returns the second value. Now, this is the first value and this is the second value. If this condition is true, returns the first value as a result. If the condition is false, returns the second value as a result. This is condition. This is the value if the condition is true. And this is a value if the condition is false. What's the value if the condition is true? 29. And we have a keyword called yield. This yield will first execute the expression and will return the result of the expression. So to yield a value from this expression, we have to use a keyword called what? Yield. All the new features. Default 31. So when control goes to default section, default case, I've given here April, June, September, November. This is what? February. What about all the remaining months like January, March, August, December? Okay. They are all goes to which section? Default. Default 31. So then tell me if the given month is January, then what the result? 31. If the given month is February and year is 2020, what the result? 29. Because 2020 is a leap year. 2020 is a leap year. Last year also leap year only, 2024. Okay, that's a leap year. Last year was leap year. Next 28 is a leap year. Every 4 years once. Am I right or not? 4 years once. Correct, guys. So now, this is called the way of writing enhanced switch. Enhanced switch can return the value. And this switch doesn't use break. And in place of colon, we can write what? Arrow. And the same thing, suppose if you want it in old fashion, then you should write case April, colon, case June, colon, because each case can accept only single value. But here, enhanced switch allow what? Multiple values for a case by separating with comma. How do you write in old fashion? The same thing, suppose if I'm asking you guys to write in old fashion, then what should I write for the cases? I should write case April, colon, case June, colon, like this I should write. Like this, case November, colon, then written 30. This is old style. Okay, because one case can accept only how many values here, guys? One value only it will accept. It won't accept multiple values. It will accept only single value. Am I clear for that? Right. But now in enhanced switch statement, one case can accept multiple values and we can separate them with comma. And here colon and break. Colon and break. Of course, from switch we can't return the value. SOP I can write SOP 30. And break. That's what I can write. Remember this. Are you clear for me? Right. So tell me the old fashioned, the switch statement regularly that we use in selection control. So then tell me that switch case. Okay. Only how many values are accepted in each case? One. Only one. One case can have only one value. Right. And also to complete the case or section, we should use what? Break. And a switch case does not return the value in the old fashion. But now we got the enhanced switch statement. In the enhanced switch statement, what are the changes? What are the changes? A case can have multiple values and colon break. Both are replaced with a single symbol. What's the symbol? Arrow token. And a switch can return the value. Switch can return the value also. Of course, if you want, you can return the value also. These are all the new features added in enhanced switch. Okay. Now, let me go back. To this main. Tell me first of all, how can I able to call this method called get days? Get days is a method. Is it a static method or instance method first of all? Is it a static method or is it an instance method? That's the first question. Yes. It's an instance method. So how can I able to call an instance method?
Create object.
How can I able to call an instance method?
Using object.
Okay, very good. By creating an object. If it is a static method, then I can directly call it with class name. Suppose if I make it a static, then tell me how can I call the get days method? Main dot get days. I can call. Look at this. Int days equals to main dot get days of. Look at this. Month dot February 2025. SOP number of days in Feb 2025. You can print the value. Days. Let's say days in Feb. Variable name. Hope I'm clear for you. Okay. Now tell me 2025 I'm passing as a year. Month I'm passing as what? February. Then tell me what the result we are expecting. What the result number of days in February?
28.
2025? 28. Number of days in Feb 2025. How many days? 28 days. Okay, right? Good. Let's say I'm passing like this. 2028.
29.
28 is a leap year. So number of days in February 2028. What's the answer we are going to get? 29. The response is 29. So that's how it works here in the code. I'll just keep the code for you. First, before that, I would like to write some statements about enhancer switch. So one statement I like to write for enhancer switch is okay. It will allow to define multiple values in a single case. It will allow to define multiple values in a single case. Next thing, it can return a value. It can return a value. Okay, it can return a value. Next. The symbol colon. What's the symbol? Colon. And break statement for each case are replaced with arrow token. Array symbol or array token, anything. Example, I'll copy the code. You guys can go through it, understand the code. Am I clear now? Right. You can test for any other month if you want, you can do it. This is the sample code through which you guys can able to test this enhancer switch. Okay, let's go ahead, guys. Okay, so this is enhancer switch statement. Next thing that we are going to understand or we are going to look into record class. Okay, right. See here. We'll understand what is the use of record class. See, this is the new feature. Actually, this is finalized in Java 16. It's added, actually started in Java 14. But in Java 14, just it has introduced, but not finalized feature. But in Java 16, it is finalized. Actually, it's a Java 16 feature, but I can say it is better to know as part of the Java 17 as well. It's complete implementation. People started using from Java 17. So that's why I'm talking about record class. See here. Basically, record classes are used for storing the data in an object and also use it to transfer the data from like one service to other service, mostly in the microservices architecture. Mostly in the microservices architecture to transfer the data from one service to other service or from service to the client to use record classes. Okay, so now we can able to create a class using record keyword also, not just using class keyword. Even we can also use another keyword from Java 17 that is called what class? Record class. Let me show you how to write a record class first. Then you'll understand. Mostly record classes are created to transfer the data. Suppose I want to create an object. In that object, I want to store the data and I want to transfer the data from one service to another service. Okay, I want to transfer the data from one service to another service. Suppose there are hundreds of microservices are available in my project and I want to transfer the data from one service to another service. Okay, so then the new way of transferring the data is create a record class. Previously, how we did that? Previously, before record classes, we have created just normal Java class and we made it as immutable class because in the middle, the data should not be changed. While I'm transferring the data from one service to other service has to utilize the data but should not modify the data. Nothing but I'm going to make my object as what type of object? Immutable object. I'm making it as an immutable object and then I'm going to share it with other service. For that, I'm going to make all the variables as final variables. Of course, if you declare them as final variables, we cannot define the setter methods, but we can only define the getter methods. Suppose if you want to make an object as immutable in Java, first you should declare all the variables as final variables. Okay, and define only the getters without setters. Because if the variable is final, you can't define setter method. You can only define getter methods. Yes. Okay, understand the point here. So for what reason record classes are given? Record classes are nothing but they are very small, a concise class, an immutable class which contains only the data and it can carry the data from one service to another service. It is another way of doing it from Java 17. Let's understand so that you guys can understand it. In the real-time application, record classes are used for data transfer objects. Record classes are used as data transfer objects. Data transfer object means it is an object which is used to carry the data from one service to another service or server to client. Okay, it is used as a DTO. DTO means data transfer object. DTOs. Okay, let's see first of all how a record class can be created. Observe it. Then I will add the statements. But first, just observe it. I want to create one new Java project and that is record project. Look at this. Let me create a new package. Let's say my package name is com.example. I want to create a new. I don't want to create a class. I don't want to create a class. What I want to create? Record. Record. I want to create a record. And let's say, for example, record is a customer. Okay. Now tell me, I'm creating a public class or public record? Record. In place of class keyword, which keyword is there? Record. Records are also classes only. Okay, they are called records. Record classes. Record. And we should define all the customer components in the customer header only. Record header only. Record header only. Observe here. Inside that, if I start creating int customer ID, string customer name. What I am getting? Errors. Customer ID, there is an error at line 4. Customer name, there is an error at line 5. So we cannot create the components or the fields inside the record. In the record header only we should declare the fields of the record. What are the fields of this record called customer? Customer ID, customer name, let's say phone number. I can declare int customer ID, string customer name, long phone number. Look at this. It's a record. What's the record name? Customer. Then what are the fields in this record? Customer ID, customer name, phone. These are called fields. This is called record header. So whenever you're writing record class, all the record fields must be declared in the record header. And all these fields are implicitly private and final. All these fields are implicitly private and final. They are private and they are final. I'll tell you all the things now. Whenever a record is created, its fields are automatically private and final. Automatically, one canonical constructor is created to initialize all the fields. Nothing but one all arguments constructor is automatically created for initializing these fields. Third, automatically accessor methods are created, getter methods are created. Setter methods are not created because they are final. So tell me, whenever a record is created with some fields, okay, implicitly the fields becomes private and final. Okay, a all arguments constructor is implicitly created for initializing the fields. Second, third, automatically getters are created for accessing them. Automatically what are created? Getters are created for accessing them. Accessor methods are created. But do remember, here the getter method is not get customer ID, get customer name. It's not like that. The field name only will become method name. What's the field name? Customer ID. Then tell me what's the getter method or accessor method of this, guys? The accessor method is also what? Customer ID. This is called accessor method, getter method. Unlike get, the field name only will become method name. What's the method name? Customer ID. What's another accessor method name? Customer name. Another accessor method name? Phone. Phone. Okay, understand the point. First, basic thing first you need to understand now, right? And moreover, automatically, see 4 points I'm going to tell you now. Implicitly, all the variables or all the fields are going to become what? Private, final. Automatically, what type of constructor created? All args constructor is created for initializing them. Implicitly. Accessor methods are created. Okay, automatically, you no need of overriding. Automatically, toString method, equals method, and hash code method are created. Then tell me, whenever a record class is created, 4 things will happen internally. What are the 4 things? Implicitly, the fields are going to become private final. Second, automatically, implicitly, one all args constructor is created for initializing the fields. Third, what is it? Accessor methods are created for accessing the fields. Fourth, toString, equals, and hash code methods are created. Are you able to follow me? Right. Remember, we can't create any additional fields inside the record. All the fields we must declare in the record header. This is a record header. And this header only could, sorry, let me do all these things. This record header only should contain what? This record header only should contain what? All the fields. Inside the record, again, I cannot create more fields. I can't create another additional fields inside the record. All the fields must be there in the record header only. Okay, right? Now, what is the purpose of record? Why these record classes are introduced from Java 17? Yes, they are used for, okay, the concise way of creating the data transfer objects in the application. Okay, the concise way, concise short way. The short way of creating the data transfer objects in application. If at all you want to create any immutable objects, okay, you want to create an object for only holding the data. And you want to transfer this data from one service to another service with immutable feature. So then you should think of creating what? Record class. Then you should think of creating what class? A record class. Then tell me, if you create a record class, automatically boilerplate code generated. What is the boilerplate code? Generally, what is needed inside a class? Setters, getters, toString, equals, hash code. Am I right or not? But when I create a record class, what will happen automatically? Implicitly, all these methods are generated. ToString method, equals method, hash code method are generated. Next, implicitly, accessor methods are created. Implicitly, all args constructor created. Implicitly, all the variables or fields are made as private and final. Now, one record object is nothing but it's a kind of immutable object. A record object is nothing but it is an immutable object. Now you can transfer it from one service to another service. Other service can fetch the data, but cannot modify the data. So if you want to create, I can say the word data only objects without any business logic or not, just data only objects. If you want to create, you prefer to create what type of classes now? Record classes. Instead of creating a normal Java class by creating variables, by defining the constructor, by making them as final variables, by defining only the getter methods and overriding the toString method, hash code method, equals method. Instead of doing these many things, what you simply create? Record. It's a shortcut and a concise way of creating the data only classes in the application or immutable classes in the application. That's called record. Let's see how we can able to work it. Tell me, right now I have created one class called what? Customer. Just a minute. Everybody put efforts here in understanding it. Now you tell me, currently which class I have created, guys? Customer record. It's called customer record. A customer record can contain what data? Customer ID field, customer name, and phone number. Phone number. Look at this. Let's create a main class. Just like how we create an object for a class, for record class also object is created like that only. See how we are creating an object for a normal Java class. In the same way, object can also be created for what? Record class. So who is the record class here? Customer. Use new keyword. Customer. Customer equals to new customer of. I should provide how many fields? All args constructor is created, right? How many fields? With the 3 fields in the same order. First component, customer ID. Second component, customer name. Third field, phone. Okay. 1011. John. Some phone number. L. L for long. Prefix L for representing long value. Tell me what is created now. Customer is created. What can I do now? System.out.println of customer. Whenever you display the customer, it's a toString method is called for converting this object as a string value. Yes. Are you writing the toString method manually? Or are you overriding the toString method manually? No. Automatically, who will do that? Record. If it is declared as a record, automatically these are generated. Now you tell me, you got the customer with the customer ID, you got the customer name, and you got the phone number. Am I clear with this? Yes. Next. No, I want to call the accessor methods to access the customer ID and customer name explicitly. Then tell me, how can I do that? Customer ID. What it will show? Customer ID. This is called which method? Getter method. But we know getter method starts with get. It starts with a name get. But here, field name only is a method name. There is no get customer ID, simply customer ID. That's it. Let's say SOP customer name. No get. There is no name is not going to start with get, guys. I can say what? Customer.phone. Print it. The data is printed now. Means what methods are created? Getter methods are created. But the method name is not going to start with get. Method name is not going to start with get. Am I clear now? So this is the purpose of creating what type of class? Record class. Of course, I'll explain you more, but first basic idea we got it now. So when should I create a record class? That's important. When should I create a record class? Suppose I want one immutable object in my application, and I want to share the data or transfer the data from a service to another service, or I want to share the data from the server to client. Okay, then tell me, previously we have manually created DTO classes. What classes? DTO. DTO stands for data transfer object. Now we can use record classes as a DTO classes. It is a concise way of creating the DTO classes. Shortcut of creating the DTO classes. And whenever you create a record class with some fields, then 4 things will happen internally. What are the 4 things? First, the fields are made as private and final. Second, all args constructor is created for the record for initialization. Next, accessor methods are created. They are called getters. Next one, toString, equals, and hash code are automatically generated. Actually, before this record feature, what happened in Java projects is, to avoid writing this boilerplate of code. What the boilerplate of code? What the boilerplate code here? Defining the constructors, setters, getters, toString, equals, hash code. To avoid writing all these kind of things, we have used one third-party API called Lombok API. And that API has provided some annotations. Lombok annotations we have used. When? Before Java 17. What annotations we have used? Lombok annotations. Suppose I want to create only getters without setters. Then I have annotation called @getters. What is that? @getters. @no args constructor. @all args constructor. Like this, we have annotations. Then I will start writing public class customer. Then I have to create private final customer ID, private final customer name, private long, final long, sorry, data types are missing here, you write. For the data type of customer ID, int. Data type of customer name, string. Data type of phone number, long. Am I clear so far? Like this, I used to write. I'll also write annotations here. @2 Next annotation, equals and hash code. Annotations are there. These are all called which annotations, guys? Lombok annotations. If I want setters and getters, and if I want to get toString method, equals and hash code method, setters, getters, everything, then we have a shortcode annotation called @data. @data. But if I write @data, it will not only generate getters, it will also generate setters. But if I make my fields as final, setter methods creation is not allowed. I will get the error. That's why I'm not writing @data. I'm writing annotations, getters, toString, equals, and hash code. These are all called which annotations, guys? Lombok annotations. But now there is no need of using Lombok annotations. And in place of that, we have a class called what? Record. Record. Public record. And what is my record name here? Customer. Record is also a class. Can create object using new keyword. It's a class only, but a special type of class. What is that? Record class. Did you guys understood now how the difference is there between them? Right, okay? But now today, there is no need of using the third-party annotations called Lombok annotations. Now today, there is no need of using the Lombok annotations. Instead of using these Lombok annotations, you can go for creating what type of class? Record class. Whenever you want to create immutable objects. Whenever you want to create what type of objects, guys? Immutable objects. Then you can go for creating what? Record. Okay. I'll add all these statements, but first, you should get a clear idea about how to create a record class. Okay. Next, look at this. What is the main purpose of record class? DTOs. They are used to construct them as DTOs in the project to transfer the data by putting the data in the immutable object. These are the data only objects. Immutable objects are created by using which class, guys? Record. Okay, good. Can I create more fields inside the record? Can I create more fields inside a record? Inside the record definition? No. All the fields must be declared in record header, but we can't declare any fields in record body or record definition, except static fields. Except what fields? Static fields can be created. What fields can be created? Static fields can be created for sure. Let's say, for example, I'm writing private, static. Just I'm writing one static field, int, static field, or some variable you can take, x equal to 10, semicolon. So am I getting an error? No, x is a static variable. X is a static variables. Means inside the record definition, we can create what type of variables? Static variables we can create. Static methods also we can create. Instance methods also we can create. But that instance methods or that static methods should not alter the values of fields. For example, customer ID is there. Look at this. I'm just creating one method like this, public void increment. Tell me, is it a static method or instance method? It is an instance method. It is an instance method. Now I'm writing like this. Customer ID equals to customer ID, get the value, increment it by 1. What I'm doing here? Customer ID I'm modifying. First, I want to get the existing value of customer ID. How to get the value? Getter method, accessor method. What is the accessor method in record? Customer ID, field name only. +1, increment it by 1. Assign this new value to the customer ID variable. I got an error. Guys, why I'm getting an error at line 6? What is the reason why I have got an error at line 6?
It is a final method. It is final.
Because
This field is final.
Cannot be changed.
Final variable. It's a final, so final variable cannot be modified. You can't modify the final variable, right? Once it is initialized in the constructor, then it cannot be modified. I can define the method. I can access the data. Let's say, for example, SOP of customer ID. I can access the customer ID. I can print it. But I cannot modify it. I can use it, but I cannot modify it. So can I create any instance methods in a record class? Yes. But do remember that instance method should not alter the state of the record. State of the record means what? Cannot alter the data of the record fields. Cannot modify the record fields. Cannot modify the values of the record fields. Okay, we can create, but ensure that it is not modifying. Otherwise, we'll get the compile time error. Can I create a static method? I can create a static method. But why I am getting an error in line 6? It's a static method. Increment is a static method, but customer ID is a instance method. It's a getter method, accessor method, but it is an instance method. So can we directly call the instance method in static method? We cannot call the instance method directly in the static method. You can call the static method directly in the instance method. That is allowed. But this is opposite, right? We can't do that. That's why I'm getting error. How can I able to call this method now? How can I able to call customer ID, this getter method now?
By creating object.
By creating object. By creating object. By creating object. I can't call even by using this. Why it is not allowing me to use this? Why it is not allowing me? Guys, why it is not allowing me to use this? Yes.
This is not allowed to use inside the static.
Because this cannot be allowed in a static method. Not only this, even super is also not allowed. This and super keywords are not allowed to use in a static method. In Java, static method does not allow this keyword, and also static method does not allow super keyword. Remember this. Remember that this and super are not allowed to use in static methods. That's why we are getting an error. So then how can I able to access this customer ID or customer name in this? By creating object. By creating object. Customer, cust is equal to new customer of, provide some ID 101 ln some phone number. Some phone number. L. Okay, now I can able to access it. What I can able to access it now? Customer ID, customer name and phone number. Or if you want to define any other logic, you can write the logic, doesn't matter. But the point I want to explain you is what now? Can we able to create a static method in a record? In a record, can I create a static method? Yes. Can I create a record? Can I create a static field, static variable inside the record class? Yes.
Yes.
Static variables are allowed. Static methods are allowed. Instance methods are allowed. Okay, right. But what are not allowed? Instance variables are not allowed. What are not allowed? We can't create instance variables again in the record class. Inside the record class definition, I can create static variables, static methods, and instance methods. Instance methods. But mostly we don't do that because what is the use of customer? Why? What is the use of record classes mostly? Just we want to make them as immutable, and we would like to transfer the data from one service to another service. So we do not want to define any logics. The purpose of record is not for writing logics. Purpose of record classes is to transfer the data from one service to another service. You have to use them like a DTO classes. That's why mostly we don't write any logics inside record class. So hope you are getting this point. Let me add all these statements. Yeah. Record classes. Okay, record classes are provided. Record classes are provided to create data transfer objects. Data transfer objects. In short, we call DTOs. So record classes are provided to create data transfer objects, let's say DTOs, in a short and concise way. In a concise way. Okay. DTOs are used to transfer the data from, or to carry the data better, are used to carry the data from one service to another, or from a server to client. DTOs are used to carry the data from one service to another service, or from a server to a client. And for that, we are going to use DTOs. Now, today, we got record classes, right? Good. From Java 17, we can use record classes as DTOs to carry the data. Okay. I told you, record class objects are what type of objects? Immutable objects. Record class objects are immutable by default. Are immutable objects by default. Can I make them as mutable? Can I make a record class object as a mutable object? No, I can't define the setter method. I can't make it as mutable. Always it there. Always record class objects are what type of objects only? Immutable objects. They are not mutable. They are always immutable objects. Yes. By default, they are immutable objects. Next. When a record class is created with required fields, internally, okay, the below code execute, or the below things will occur, whatever it is. Internally, the below code will execute, or below things will happen. automatically below things will happen. Can you tell me what the below things? Number one, the record fields are automatically implicitly made as, the fields are implicitly made as what and what? Private and final. Second, the fields are implicitly made as what? Private and final. Second one,
All are constructor.
all arguments constructor is generated. All arguments constructor is generated. Next, what and what? Getter, accessor methods. Accessor methods are created for the fields like getters. Fourth one, what and what methods are generated automatically?
ToString
Yes, automatically ToString method
hash code.
equals and hash code. Okay, ToString equals and hash code methods are generated. Now, just let me give an example. Just I would like to copy this record class. This is a way of creating a record class. So when we prefer to create a record class is only used whenever we want to transfer the data from one service to other service. That is best suited for DTOs, data transfer objects. And by default, they are immutable objects. You don't need to make them as immutable. Directly, they are immutable. Without creating any immutable classes, you can simply create a record class. And you can use them to carry the data from one service to other service. This is record class. And how do we create the record class object and how can we access the data? I'm writing main class. And this is a main class in which we can create the customer object, and then we can able to call customer ID method, customer name method, and phone method so that we can able to get the customer data. We can able to display the customer information by using this. This is how a record class can be created. Now, I told that in the record class, can we create static variables? Yes. Can we create static methods? Again, yes. Can we create instance methods? Yes. Can we create instance variables? No. What can be created? I can create static variables. I can create static methods. I can create instance methods. But I cannot create instance variables. Okay. We can also create static variables, static methods, and instance methods if needed in a record class if needed. But we cannot create instance variables. Instance variables. Okay, right. Now, before Java 17, okay, to generate the boilerplate code. Who is that boilerplate code? ToString, equals, setters, getter. These are all the things, right? Getters and everything, constructors and everything. To generate the boilerplate code like constructors, getters or setters, ToString. Next what? Equals and hash code. Okay. Before Java 17, to generate this boilerplate code, which annotations were used? Lombok annotations were used. It's a third-party API. Okay, a third-party API called Lombok API annotations or Lombok annotations were used. So far, am I clear for how record class is created here? Very good. Now let us go ahead to understand some more details about record class. Let's say, understand here. This is one record, right? Customer is one record. Am I right or not? Good. Now I want to create a class. Understand clearly. Another record I'm creating. Otherwise, I'll explain by creating one more new class here only. See guys, I'm creating one new class. It's record class actually. So record name is REC1. And with two fields, int x, int y. Don't worry. This is one record class. What's the record name? REC1. Now I want to create another record class, REC2. What's the name? REC2. If you look at this, guys, I can enter my record name here, REC2. But now I want to make REC1 as a parent of REC2. If I want to choose that as a parent, normally when you create a class, I think you might have observed super class, and you'll get a browse button, and you can click on the browse button. You can choose the super class, right? But why it is not showing me that browse button, and why it is not giving me any super class option here? If you have not observed it, you can observe it now. New class I'm creating, class. See this super class? You can click on browse and you can choose a super class, right? But now I'm creating a class or record class. I want to create a new record class. And I want to give its name as REC2, and I want to extend it from REC1. But where is that option for me? Okay, it is an IDE mistake. Example. IDE not designed properly. Good. What can I write here? Let's say int a comma int b extends REC1. What I'm getting? Error. Means, guys, you can understand that a record class cannot extend any other record class or normal class. Able to follow me? Record class cannot extend any other class, any other record class or any other class. Remember, it can implement interface. It can implement an interface, but it cannot extend any other record class or a normal class. A record class cannot extend any other class, but a record class can implement interface. Interface. Please try to understand me. Am I clear for you? Everyone? Are you getting this point? Let me show you all these things. So this one is clear for you? Yes. Remember, every record class, I repeat, every record class implicitly extends java.lang.record, one predefined class in Java. Every record class predefinedly extends java.lang.record. Let me show you all these things. Say I'm opening record from java.lang. Open this. What's the class name? Record. Abstract class record. Are you able to follow me? Please try to understand this point. Public class, abstract class record. Right? So every record class extends implicitly record class. This record class is given from since Java 16 version, finalized in Java 17. It's actually 16 feature only, but mostly we use under Java 17. Is it clear for you? So can a record class extend another record class is a question. That was the answer. No. One record class cannot extend another record class. Another record class. Can a record class extend a normal Java class? No. It can't extend a normal Java class or cannot extend another, but it can implement interface. It can implement sealed interface also. Yesterday we got sealed, right? Yes. Look at this. Everybody, I'm going to talk about that. So one point is very clear. Let's go out. I would like to remove record 1 and record 2. I want to remove this. Okay, I want to remove this. I would like to go back. Delete all these things. Create one new interface here. Interface it is. It is an interface. Do remember that. It's an interface. Everybody try to understand interface. Okay. My interface name is okay. My interface name is okay. User activity. What's my interface name? User activity, and I'm making it as a sealed interface. What type of interface now? Sealed. So there is an interface I'm creating called user activity, and I'm making it as what? Sealed interface. Whenever I use a sealed, I told definitely we must use permits here. Permits. Permits. Because whenever we're getting an interface or a class, yesterday I told you, it can choose who can implement it or who can extend it. This is called controlled way of creating the inheritance classes. I'm right, the hierarchy. So user activity permits create user, delete user. So guys, currently, I'm right. Currently, I'm getting an error because I have not created these create user and delete user classes. Yes, I'm getting error. I agree. I agree. Everybody try to understand now. One abstract method I'm creating, Boolean confirm. Something. So there is user activity and it permits create user, comma, delete user. It permits create user, comma, delete user. Now I would like to create new record, create user. Implements means I can use interfaces, na? Add button. What's the name of the interface? User activity. Create user implements what? User activity. Why I'm getting an error? I told you just now. A record class cannot extend another record class, but a record class can implement interface. So there is nothing wrong in implementing an interface. It's correct. Whether it's sealed or whether it is a normal interface, it's okay. But why I'm getting error at line 3? From yesterday's knowledge required here. Exactly, sir. Good. What's the point to say? Whenever you are writing any, whenever you are writing a child class for a sealed class, or when you are implementing interface, sealed interface, we must declare that child class is either non-sealed or sealed or final. That's mandatory. That's mandatory. Okay. Suppose I am making it a sealed. Still I am getting error. Still I am getting error. Okay. I will write non-sealed. I am getting error. Okay. I thought of overriding the method called confirm. Let us override. You see these guys? Yes, I'm overriding that method. I'm overriding this confirm method of user activity. I declared as a non-sealed. Got error. Sealed. Got error. If I use a sealed, I know I should write permits. What I should write? Permits. Okay, I started writing permits. Permits some other fetch user. First of all, permits only giving error. Okay, very good. I'll tell you final answer. Sealed is not working. Non-sealed is not working. What's the last option we can try? It is working. Are you able to get my point? What is working now? Final is working. But what are not working? Sealed and non-sealed are not working. So from yesterday's knowledge to today's knowledge, what you need to combine is, whenever you are writing a record class by implementing a sealed interface, you should declare the record class as final. Not non-sealed, not sealed. Because we know that what a record class cannot extend another record class. Can I create a child class for a record class? No. No. I can't create a child class for record class because record class cannot be extended to another record class. One record class cannot be extended to another record class, and that's why it is giving an error. So then tell me, if your record class is implementing a sealed interface, you must declare your record class as what? Final. Okay. I'll start writing delete user. User activity. Override the final confirm method. Override the confirm method. Override the confirm method. Now look at this. This is my record, right? Delete user implements what? User activity. But you look at this. I am not writing final. I am not writing final. But still, am I getting an error in the delete user now? No. I'll go back to my create user. I'll remove final. Am I getting an error now? No. Because every record class is implicitly final. Because one record class cannot extend another record class. Can I extend this record class to another record class? No. Means every record class is implicitly final. That's why there is no need to explicitly write final keyword. But what happens if I write sealed or non-sealed? I'll get the errors. Good. We are combining. So there are some points to explain you. What are the points to write? Every record class implicitly extends. Tell me, every record class implicitly extends which class, guys? Java.lang.record class. Tell me, can we extend one record class from other record class?
No.
Answer is no. Guys, I'll repeat once again. What's the point I'm writing? What's the point I'm writing? Can we create a record, extend a record class from other record class, guys? So we cannot create the one record class by extending the another record class. A record class cannot extend, yes, cannot extend any another record class or a normal Java class. A record class is implicitly final. Implicitly final. You know that writing final keyword. By default, every record class is final because it cannot be extended. You know, in Java, final classes cannot be extended. Every record class is also by default final. So it cannot be extended. Next, a record class can implement interface. A record class can implement a normal interface or a sealed interface. See, implementing an interface, there is no issue. The issue is what? Extending, because one record class is implicitly final and it does not extend any other record class or does not extend even normal Java class also. Extension not allowed, but it can implement interface. How many interfaces can be implemented means? Multiple also allowed. It can implement more than one also. You know that a class can extend only one parent class, but a class can implement multiple parent interfaces. Same concept applicable here also. Okay, example code I will write for you. And there is one more point I need to explain regarding record classes. Folks, everyone, at least by looking at this, you can understand. But do remember, can we make this record class as sealed or non-sealed? Can we make a record class as a sealed or non-sealed? What do you say, guys? No. Implicitly that is final, and we cannot make it as a sealed, or we cannot make it as a non-sealed. We can't make it as a sealed or non-sealed, but implicitly it is final. Or if you want, you can write it explicitly as final. Good. These are all the record related concepts that everybody has to know. Lastly, one more I will explain on record. Okay. Now, whenever you want to create DTOs in application, data transfer objects like customer or employee or a user profile, something like that. Okay. Yes, some of you guys know about Spring and many of you guys don't know. And that's why I'm not writing that example. I can create a user profile DTO and I can return it from a REST controller class. @REST controller class name, and I can write @post mapping or @get mapping. Then public return type is response entity of user profile DTO. User profile DTO is a record class. So like that, we used to transfer the data. Currently, some of you guys don't know, and that's why I'm not writing that code for you. Next. There is one more point I have to explain on record class, guys. I would like to I would like to create understand, guys. I am creating one new record class here. My record class name is my record. What's the class name? My record. My record is a record class. Take some fields if you want. Otherwise, you can leave it. Guys, I am creating one record class. And what is my record class name? My record. And this my record has how many fields here? Two fields. There are two fields in my record. There are two fields in my record. Let's go now. Let's dive into this. Understand, everybody. Inside this again, I'm writing record my sub record of int a comma int b. Guys, are you getting an error now? No. You know, nested classes are inner classes topic in Java. You know how inner class can be created? We can define a class inside a class. If you write a class inside a class, then it can be called as inner class. Here also, I can able to create a record inside a record. Means we can able to create what? Nested record classes. That's what I want to say. One record class cannot extend another record class, but we can create, okay, we can create nested record classes. One record class can contain another record class inside it. That is called nested record classes. It is allowed. It is allowed. Understand here. If I make it as a static, I'm making it as what? Static. This is called nested record class. What is it? Nested record class. If I remove static, it is called inner record class. What is it? Inner. Inner static. Depends on static keyword. If you're at a static, it is called static nested class. Nested class. Static means nested. Non-static means inner. Terminology. Inner, non-static. Nested, static. Tell me, this is now inner record class or nested record class? Inner record class. Inner. If you're at static, it is called nested record. Nested record. If I make it as a static, it can only allow static members of the parent record. Only static members. It can use only parent static members, but it can't use instance fields. Okay. If I make it as non-static, it can use instance fields and static fields. That's a difference between having inner and nested. Okay. Anyhow, understand clearly. This is my record. This is what my sub record. My record is a outer record class. My sub record is inner record class. Inner record class. Please try to understand now. If I write private, then tell me this inner record class is only visible within outer record class. Within the outer record class only visible. That is called what? Private. If I make it as public, you know already private, protected, public, how they behave, the visibility. It's a global visibility, right? Very good. Tell me now, my record is a outer record class. My sub record is inner record class. I want to go to main class. Now this is my main class. Just give me a minute. Meanwhile, you think of how to create the object for my record and how to create the object for my sub record. Yes. Now, how to create an object for, how can I create object for my record class and how to create object for my sub record class? Look at this. First, my record. Okay. My record is equal to new my record. As I said already, record class also object can be created like a normal Java class only, right? My record of 10, 20. Two fields are there. The constructor having two parameters. Very good. Now, my sub record. How can I create object for my sub record? My record dot my sub record. My sub record equals to new my record dot my sub record of 40, 50. Folks, am I clear now? Okay. So tell me, can we create a record inside a record? Can we create a record inside a record? Yes.
Yes.
First one is called outer record and this is called inner record. Yes, we can able to create a record inside a record. We got it right? Very good. Tell me, how do we create a
GD session for the technical code Java and MySQL after the lunch. 2:15. They have a GD session.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Am I clear for you now? Tell me, my record dot my sub record. What is my sub record? Inner record class. Okay, how do you create an object for inner record class? Outer record class dot inner record class. That's it. This is a syntax of creating object for which class? Inner record class. This is other point which I would like to tell you. What's the point I want to tell you is, I'm writing all the points one by one here. You guys can understand. What's the point I want to write here? We can able to create what we can do. We can able to create a record class inside. We can able to get a record class inside another record class. Guys, we can able to create a record class inside another record class. Okay, we can able to create a record class inside another record class. Another record class. Okay, right. Understand. The inner record class can be non-static or static. If it is non-static, it is called inner. Inner record class. If it is static, it is called nested record class. The word inner and inner and nested depends on whether it is a non-static or static. Non-static inner class is called inner class. Static inner class is called nested class. That's the definitions, right? So similarly, non-static record class is called inner record class. Static record class is called nested record class. That's it. That's it. Okay. Let me give you example. So I have covered almost everything that are possible with the records. Okay, coding and all you can do, take an employee or take a customer, send the record from one method to other method or one class to other class. That we can do. Okay. For the time being, I'm not explaining, but I thought of explaining an example for you by using records with a list of items. But for the time being, I'm not explaining that code. I'm just talking about how we can able to create the records. Okay, so use this as a base knowledge and try to find some examples, execute it. At least now what you can do is, at that time when you are looking at the code, if you are getting some code through some internet, and if you are looking at the code, at least you guys are in a position to understand about, oh, this is called record class, I know. And this is how the record class is working. This is called inner record class. So you can able to understand that. And by looking at the code, you can understand, oh, this is a sealed interface. And this is a sealed parent class. Permits is a keyword here. These are the allowed child classes. Like that we can understand. Okay? Right. Finally, there is another point I'll explain to wind up this batch. What is the other point I want to explain? How to use, again, switch only, but there is pattern matching in switch. Let's identify that. That is again called enhanced switch statement only, but I'll explain that. I'll explain, just observe it. There is look at this case. Further, I would like to explain one more feature of Java 17. Okay. And then we will conclude. So just we need a 5 to 10 minutes of time. We can able to complete. Let's create a new Java project. This is called pattern strategy or pattern switch. So I'm now going to understand, I'm just going to explain about how you guys can understand about pattern switch. Let's start. Okay, let's understand about the concept called as pattern switch. Okay, we can see this. Directly, we want to write one small example code to understand it. Okay. Okay, let's create a package first. com.example. Let me create one new class. Okay, let's start creating a class. So everyone just understand it. I'll tell you about how we can able to work with the pattern switch. Okay. I'm just talking about some example. Okay. Okay, first I have something called as test class. one class is test class. Now I am also creating, you can see this guys, I am also creating, let's create an interface, payment. Just like normal interface only I am creating payment. Otherwise, I can make it a sealed again. You know the difference between normal interface and sealed interface is what? Sealed interface is nothing but controlled way of creating the child classes. Normal interface means uncontrolled way. Okay, here, if you are to seal, you can define the inheritance hierarchy properly. A proper order of inheritance hierarchy. Okay, for example, if I don't make it a sealed, then any child class, any class can implement this uncontrolled way of creating the childs. That's the difference. Okay, payment. And let's say it has, I can take something, otherwise I can make it as a marker, whatever it is. Okay, let's say for example, payment. I'm creating a class called credit card payment. And it implements payment interface. Okay, credit card payment implements payment. Let's say for example, one more class I'm creating UPI payment. It implements payment. So there are two classes I've created. One is called what? Credit card payment, and other one is UPI payment. UPI payment. Understand this. Actually, payment is an interface, but inside that, I'm not writing any abstract methods. Means it is like a marker interface. What type of interface it is? Marker. Marker interface. Empty interface, right? Marker. If you want, you can also write, okay, any one abstract method, that's up to you. Okay, please try to understand now. So let's say one method we will create. If you want, I can write. Otherwise, I can also leave it as an marker interface. But okay, let me create without a marker. Boolean. Payment has a confirm method. Payment is an interface which contains a confirm method, which is Boolean. Now override it. And I also want to override the same method here, confirm. Here I want to say confirm value true, return true, just true, that's it. I don't want any code, true. Here also true. Are you able to get my point? True. And try to get this point. There is an interface called payment. There is a class called credit card payment. There is another class called what? UPI payment. So I have payment interface for which I have credit card payment is a class and UPI payment is one more class. Am I clear with that? Yes. Now I want to create one more class called payment processor. What is the class name? Payment processor. And in this class, I am defining a method called public void process parameter payment. I have a class called what? Payment processor. There is a method called what? Process. And it has a parameter of type payment. Now, previously we know switch cases can be written only for strings, integer values, and for characters. whenever it switch case must be contain string value or character value or integer value. But we can't write a case for objects. We can't write a case for objects. Okay, but that is added in Java 17. Now we can write a case. We can write case for objects. Case for what? Objects. I'll tell you how we can do that. Look at this. Switch of payment. Switch of payment. Case, let's say, credit card payment. Let's say credit arrow token. Okay. The default table we'll discuss later. Okay. Okay, credit. Understand clearly. Okay, credit. What can I write? Credit card payment, credit. I can write SOP. Okay. Credit card payment. Credit card payment processed. SOP. Status. Credit dot. Confirm. And even I can also take one more. It doesn't matter. That is credit card payment. I can take amount and all. That's okay. Otherwise, I'll take process, payment, comma, amount. Or amount I'm not taking, simply payment I'll take, better. Now, similarly, case UPI payment. UPI arrow token. Again, the two same SOP statements, similar kind of SOPs. What the SOP statements I'm writing? UPI payment processed. And I would like to add the status UPI dot confirm. Next, default SOP unknown payment. Unknown payment method. If you look at this now, okay, I'll maximize it. That's better. Look at this. This is payment, right? It's a reference variable. Previously, switch will only allow either integer variable or a string variable or a character variable. You can't write any other types. But now, a switch can also accept objects. And it will do implicit typecasting. Okay, if I'm writing switch payment, we know payment is an interface. What are its implementation classes? Credit card payment and UPI payment. Then switch will automatically do typecasting. It checks whether this payment type is credit card or not. If yes, it will typecast it into credit variable. It will typecast it into credit. This payment object is now typecasted to credit variable without doing typecasting explicitly. Who will take care of this work? Switch. This is called pattern switch. So pattern switch or pattern strategy switch, whatever it is. So tell me, first what switch will check? Whether this payment object given as a parameter is convertible to credit card payment or not? If yes, it will typecast that object into credit variable and I can use credit. If it is not convertible to credit card payment, then switch will check whether is it convertible to UPI payment or not. If yes, it will execute this block. And default is mandatory. And suppose if it is not convertible to either of two, then we are going to get a message called what? Unknown payment method. I'll go to test class. I'll create the payment processor object. I'll call the process method. Tell me, while calling this method, I should provide what as parameter? Payment object. An object of type payment. Sure. Look at this, guys. I want to create payment processor object. Payment processor is equal to new payment processor. Tell me what object is created here, guys? Payment processor object is created. Now I want to call processor dot process method of new credit card payment. Tell me what I am providing as parameter for the process method. I am passing an object of type credit card payment. Now control goes to this process method and tell me what object is received into this variable payment. Credit card payment object. Now the switch is going to check what? It's going to check whether this payment is convertible to credit card payment or not. Now tell me, is it convertible now? Yes, because in this variable, what is the actual object stored in this variable? Credit card payment. It is convertible to what type? Credit card payment. So now it is going to convert this payment type into credit card payment and stores it in a variable called what? Credit variable. Now this block will execute. Let's see. Understand. Let's see. Let us run this code, test class, and see the output. Credit card payment processed. Status is what? True. Okay. Suppose if you want to display status true in a good way, we can able to do that. Status colon, like that I can write. Now you guys can see the output once again. Okay, right? Now, credit card payment processed. Suppose guys, if I'm passing here in place of credit card payment, I'm passing what? UPI payment. What's the message? UPI payment process. Status true. True. Am I clear with that? Yes. Understand here. Example only I'm writing. Example. I am passing new some object I am passing. It should be subtype of payment because it's accepting payment as a parameter, right? So default, I can't execute it now because I can't pass directly object. I can't pass an empty object because payment is an interface. Payment is an interface. For interface, object is not a parent class. You know that interface does not have a parent, right? If you write extends or implements, then only it has a parent. Otherwise, by default, there is no parent for an interface. Only class has a default parent. Okay, that's why I can't write it. I can show up to this only. I can pass null. What I can pass? Null. Null I am passing. Null I can pass. Now run this. I got exception. What exception? Null pointer exception. Okay, I will do one thing. No other way. I don't have other way because I have not created any other child class. Only credit card payment and UPI payment are the only two types I've given. So this is only what I can show you. This is called pattern strategy in switch pattern. So what's the new concept added in Java 17 here? We can also use switch for object types. What types? Previously, we can use only switch for string types, character types, integer types. But now we can even use a switch for object types, and the switch will take care of typecasting. So switch will take care of typecasting into this variable. If it is matches with this pattern, what pattern? Credit card pattern. This case is what pattern? UPI pattern. If this pattern is matched, then automatically this object type is converted or typecasted into this pattern type. Pattern conversion. And the typecasted object will be stored in a variable called credit. The typecasted variable or object will be stored in a variable called UPI. So this is allowed in Java 17. This other feature, and this feature name is called pattern matching or pattern strategy in switch. What is that? Pattern strategy in switch. That's what the example I want to explain here. So it's a big code. I will add this. Then I'll share in the chat box. You guys can go through it. What's the next one I just want to explain is pattern strategy. Pattern strategy in switch. I'll give 1-2 points, then I'll give the code for you. Pattern strategy in switch, and how I can write the statement here is, I can write the statement here is, okay, before Java 17, we can use a switch for strings, characters, or integers. From Java 17 plus, we can use it for what? Object types. Okay, the pattern matching and a typecasting or type conversion, anything, and a typecasting will be automatically done by switch only. So to come in a order, first you need to understand about my interface. You need to understand my interface. Then you need to understand the two classes there. One is credit card payment and other one is UPI payment. Come in this way, credit card payment, and come in this way, next one, which is better if I add the code like this. You can understand it clearly. Next, come in this way, next one, UPI payment. So here, I will change my this is going to be UPI payment, okay? UPI payment. So once we are done with this, then I have created one class called payment processor. You create all of them in some package, that's up to you. Just create all this into one some package and then you can try. Then finally, we are done with the test class. This is my test class where just I'm trying to explain how we guys can able to call the process method by passing either UPI payment object or by passing our credit card payment object. First time you can try with credit card payment object. Other time you can try with UPI payment object. So this is the other feature that we have discussed in Java 17. Okay. So what is the benefit of this one now? Previously, we can use switch only for string values or characters or integer values. But now we can use switch for object types also. We can use it for object types. And the required typecasting, type conversions will be automatically taken care by switch only. That's an advantage, right? This is called pattern strategy in switch. Okay, right? Now, everyone, guys, it's too late even for you and me as well. I'm just going to share this Java 17 document now. Please download it. So here we are going to conclude our class. Thank you.